Hello, Heather here with Rebel Hearts with another share. So, last night I had this weird dream. I usually have weird dreams. Sometimes they speak to me, sometimes they don't. And last night, one element of my dream kind of stuck with me. And as I dug into that, I was able to kind of look at some of my fears and a lot of my past, I guess, that created a lot of those fears. And so just kind of a note that, when we dive into, this inner healing journey, when we are working on healing ourselves, that being aware of our dreams is an important piece of it. It can be a tool in our toolbox, if you will. Just as seeing signs and synchronicities and things like that can also be very encouraging on our journey. So, my dream last night, I was, it was kind of strange. So I was kind of like, I don't know, almost like the mother of all of these college students. And I was like, oh God. That in itself is kind of terrifying. But I had this big wad of gum and I couldn't get it out. Like it kept sticking in my teeth and things like that. And I was like, oh, what is this? It was really hindering my ability to be able to communicate with them and give them direction. And so I went to one of my dream dictionaries and looked it up. And what kind of came out of it was that, my own fear and insecurity around finding the right words to communicate my thoughts, my ideas, is very much there. And then also a fear around appearing, foolish or stupid or, giving a bad presentation for something. And I really had to think about that. And I was like, oh man. And so I sat there and I told myself, I was like, face the fears that come up along the way. Hold confidence in yourself and your ability to navigate them. Stay true to yourself and remain dedicated to journeying with love. Remain true to your heart and then have and express a confident voice. And so as I was sitting with this, there was a lot of history past that was coming up. Decades of abuse will silence your voice in many ways. And I had to kind of, I've had to kind of recognize my own role in the life of abuse that I lived. Because I had hated myself, I tolerated and accepted certain types of abuse that I definitely would not remotely allow anymore, But I had to come to that point on my journey. I had to come to that point of saying, no more of this and be able to leave. And that was really that first step in me reclaiming an empowered voice, a voice in me that said, no more, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to do something different, but even though it's been many years since that point, since I made that decision, I still have a lot of insecurity around speaking. I am afraid of misspeaking. I am afraid of losing my train of thought because that happens a lot. I'm afraid of saying something that might be upsetting or offensive to someone, and in my world, words were weapons. My own words would be used against me as weapons, and so speaking was, my words got stuck a lot, and so actually part of me creating these videos at all and sharing is a step, a big step really, in moving from an empowered space instead of staying stuck in those old victim spaces, of moving forward, in my power, finding that empowered voice within me that says it's okay. You don't have to be afraid, as long as I'm speaking, and this is just kind of my belief here, but as long as I know that I am speaking from a space of love, that's really what matters, you know. I'm sharing from love. I'm sharing my journey from a space of anything is possible, you know, that it doesn't matter what was, you know, it doesn't even so much matter what is, because we have the power in the now to create what will be. You know what I mean? And so me reclaiming this empowered voice is huge. You know, because in looking back, I just realized how many times I didn't speak up. I didn't speak up for myself. I didn't speak up for those who couldn't speak for themselves. You know, I didn't say things right when I needed to say something important. You know, it would come out all jumbled and messed up and create more problems than there were even prior to me saying anything. You know, things like that. And you know, and then move it into my, you know, my years in the environmental profession. You know, I had to give professional presentations and things all the time. And, you know, you give a bad one because you're really nervous, and that carries with you, you know. And so, you know, this weird dream of me having gum stuck in my teeth and not being able to get it out, but feeling like I had to get this message out. I had to be able to say these things, you know, was really showing me, hey, you still have fear around speaking, and you need to deal with that. You need to face it, you know, and move past yourself. And so that was kind of my message this morning from my dreams, you know, and yeah, so here I am stepping out, moving differently, you know, learning that I can speak from my heart and I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be afraid of what's going to come out or how it might be used against me, you know what I mean, or misdirected somehow. I don't have to be afraid of that, because I do believe that love is more powerful, and those who will see love, and that's what matters. So, yeah, with that, oh man, okay, I got all distracted. I was going to leave you with an affirmation card, but I cannot find that deck. It's not around me. So, I will just say with that, have a blessed day and pay attention to your dreams. You know, as I said, our dreams can be one of those tools in our toolbox. And when we bring awareness and curiosity to it, you know, it can show us some pretty cool things. It can show us some pretty cool things. So be willing to listen, because there's a lot in there, a lot of wisdom in you just waiting to come out. Much love to you.